Before I became an adolescent and before I got involved with crime, because I was involved with crime, and before I got involved with drugs and alcohol, I had a beautiful childhood, and I always had my mom who was there supporting me during my childhood. And my mom was always working, going to school to become a nurse, and she always made sure that me and my two sisters had a beautiful life. During my childhood, I had a Christmas each year with lots of presents, and we had a real Christmas tree each year. I still have Christmases with my mom, so we have Christmas every year. I remember my mom during my childhood, she would celebrate me and my sister's birthdays, and me and my sisters always had big birthdays and a lot of presents. That's when I was in school and I played Little League football, Little League baseball, and Little League basketball. I dropped out of school, I dropped out of high school, and I became involved with crime, drugs, and alcohol, and I became homeless and addicted to narcotics and alcohol. Then my mom saw that I was struggling. My mom saw that I was homeless, and she decided to start helping me out financially. But my run-ins with the law weren't just when I was an adolescent. I got in trouble with the law a few times when I was an adult because of drinking and using drugs. But all my life, I always had my parents who were supporting me. And all my life, I had women who loved me unconditionally. I just wasn't man enough to keep them women around. But my life is above average. I have a really big family. I have a beautiful family. I have a lot of people in my corner who love and support me. Right now, I live alone. I'm not using narcotics. I'm not drinking. I haven't broken any laws since I got into a bad fight with one of my family members. So my worst charges that I received is when I was an adolescent, I robbed a few places. When I was an adolescent, I got into 2 domestic violences with 2 different women. And I got assault charges on 2 different occasions with 2 different women. And I was getting into fights with my friends, And one other bad charge is when I was an adult, I got into a bad fight with one of my close family members. But luckily everything worked out. Everybody was all right. Everybody lived, no harm, no foul. But I had a beautiful life. I always had my dad in my life supporting me, and I always had my mother in my life supporting me. And my life is great right now. I live alone. I have my own place. I'm not using drugs or alcohol. I'm not using nicotine. I'm not using narcotics. I'm not drinking heavily. So everything's going to work out. I made a lot of mistakes. I made several bad mistakes. I had several bad run-ins with the law, but I learned my lesson. But if the good outweighs the bad, which the good does outweigh the bad, because I have a beautiful life, like I said, with a lot of family members who support me and love me. But my mom, during my life, during my childhood, she would always take us on vacation to the ocean, to Disney World, to the Bahamas. You know, she would always take us places on vacation, you know, to the museums. She would take us to the movies. We went on a lot of vacations. We went on a vacation to Mexico, the Bahamas, Florida, Maryland. All my life, I always had a family vacation each year in my life. Well, almost every year in my life. But I had a beautiful life thanks to my mom. Luckily, I have a lot of smarts to keep me out of trouble. And I try to stay out of trouble. I smoke my pot. I drink a little bit of beer occasionally. And I leave people alone. I respect everybody. Hopefully everybody can respect me and love me. I love everybody. And that's it.